Hello and welcome to SoCal Prep Report. Obviously, we're on location today at Franklin High School. Guess what? The Panthers are 5-0, one of 8 teams in the city that remain unblemished. Once again, we work with Eric Sotheimer of the Los Angeles Times. And Eric, it's nice to be out in sunny LA with the Franklin Panthers.
It's not just sunny, it's hot here, Randy. I'm only doing this because you asked to be out here, but it's an appropriate place to be because, as you said, there's 8 teams. Franklin's one of the surprise teams. Grant's unbeaten, Banning's unbeaten, of course, Hawkins and Narbonne and Fairfax. There's a lot of really good teams so far early in the season, but the big games are still ahead.
Don't forget RESEDA. But let's look back at last week. One of the big games was the intersectional with Narbonne and Paramount. Narbonne again started slowly, but their defense was so good, and they ended up trampling Paramount 37-0.
Yeah, it's just so hard to run on that defense with Dominic Peterson and, of course, all their all-city linebackers to be. So right now Narbonne is on pace to go unbeaten in the regular season. I really just don't see anybody challenging them in the city, except to maybe Banning at the end of the year. They play Banning to in the regular season finale in the Marine League, so that'll be a great game. You never know what happens in emotional games like that.
Yeah, Narbonne is starting to come around offensively. Cameron Denmark, their running back, is having a big year. All right, let's check in and talk about San Pedro. The Pirates lost an early season game, but suddenly they're 3-1. They got by Lawndale in a tight one, 30-27. Lawndale threw the ball into the end zone at the end of the game, failed, and the Pirates ended up winning by 3.
Well, the good news for San Pedro is they've continued to upgrade their schedule to prepare for the Marine League. So it's much better from their perspective to beat a decent team than to go out and rout somebody. So I think that will help them in the Marine League.
Very entertaining football game with St. Francis and Dorsey, another intersectional. Dorsey was behind 28-7. They came all the way back, but St. Francis pulled the game out. 34-28.
Yeah, I think both teams got a lot out of this game. Dorsey needs to keep improving for the Coliseum League, and St. Francis is unbeaten going into another tough game this week against Buena Park. For St. Francis, Michael Bonds is doing very well. He transferred in from Newport Harbor. He's the nephew of head coach Jim Bonds, and of course, if you have a good quarterback, you're usually going to have a good year.
I was happy for Southeast. They beat Baldwin Park 40-26. It's not a game that's going to change the complexion of the city section, but I was really happy to see them come through and get a W.
Yes, they needed it. They've come close. They've also not played well, so that will help them in the Eastern League when they try to go against Garfield and Southgate.
A game we talked about last week, Salesian and Southgate. Salesian won another intersectional. Tough game against the Rams, 41-27.
Yeah, Robbie Bosser continues to do well. Quarterback for Salesian, and they were in the tough Angeles League with Cathedral and St. Francis. That'll be a difficult task ahead.
Banning really took it to Chatsworth. Now, Chatsworth appears to be down, and we know that Banning is up. Chatsworth hasn't won a game. Banning goes to 5-0, and Joe Villarreal continues to have a spectacular year for Banning High School.
Yeah, it just shows you what you can do if your players stick around for a year or two, because Banning is a veteran team. All these seniors have been around for 4 years, and it's paying off right now.
Yeah, I really like that backfield with the quarterback Miles Porter getting everything done for him. We mentioned Villarreal, and Sultan Moala is another running back that's very good. That is a terrific threesome in the backfield. On the road went the Franklin Panthers last week. They went to Marshall. Never easy to play at Marshall High School. Most of their games are in the day, but it was easy for the Panthers. They won it 28-0.
Yes, and it was a day game. I know their coach doesn't like day games. I don't like day games, but they were able to get it out with a victory. The defense was a little bit surprising to throw the shutout. Of course, they're able to run and pass, and that's the key for them right now. They have great balance. They have a couple speed players, and so that will help them down the road in the Northern League.
And Hawkins was great again.
Hawkins didn't play because the team forfeited. They're not playing this week because they have a bye week, and next week is also almost a bye because they're playing lock. So I have no idea what's going on with their schedule, but I think they should be playing a little bit better competition.
But yet everyone continues to rate Hawkins very highly.
Well, they're a good team. They have a lot of college players, so I don't doubt that they're a good team, but it'll be interesting to see if they can just suddenly turn it on when the tough games ahead come about against Dorsey and LA and Crenshaw. That's a difficult task when you get to play 3 tough games in a row.
Let's go back to those 8 teams that are undefeated. We mentioned that Narbonne and Banning are in the Marine League, but you have Los Angeles High School lurking down the road. also for Hawkins. That figures to be a great game as well.
Yeah, those two teams should play twice, once in the regular season, once in the playoffs. So I would save some plays if I were Eric Scott, because he's going to need them, because that team is very talented. So it'll be interesting. I think RESEDA is also unbeaten. They have a really good game against Canoga Park coming up. So we're really getting close to the midway point. And so far, again, those teams, there's a lot of teams that haven't done well in the past that are doing well now, and so that's encouraging.
When we come back, we're going to talk to the head football coach here, Narciso Diaz. He's doing a great job in his third year. We're going to hear from his quarterback, Mario Bobadilla, and David Tejas, who's both offensively and defensively gifted for this football team. We'll step out, have more on SoCal Prep Report right after this.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy. Oh, and she even talks to it. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
And welcome back to SoCal Prep Report. We'll chat with the third-year head coach here at Franklin High School, Narciso Diaz. First of all, congratulations. The Rams this week have named you the Coach of the Week in Southern California football.
Oh, thank you. It's an honor to be named Coach of the Week. Thank you to the Rams organization, but it's not just me. It's a whole team effort. It's a whole family effort. Coaching staff, players, administration. It's not just with me.
And most of all, you get $1,000 for the school, and they also have $1,000 in equipment. You guys need that, right?
Yeah, especially with the LAUSD budget cuts, and we don't really have a budget. So yes, it really helps out the program. And right now we need headsets. That's what we need. So, communicating with the sidelines and stuff like that, headsets will really come in with that.
We got some extra headsets with our crew here, I think. Tell us about your football team. Are you surprised that you're 5-0, or did you expect to have a breakout year?
No, not surprised. We returned 20 players from last year, and last year we're 2-3 games where we lost between 3 points or less. We're in a lot of ball games. Last year we competed. This year we know how to finish. Finish games, win games. So it's a mature group, good family group. A lot of these kids played Pop Warner together. So, they all went to junior high, elementary together, and now they're together, all seniors.
You have a really unique player in Danny Tejas. He's a running back. He's a receiver. He's a defensive back. He returns punts and kickoffs. He's an all-city center fielder in baseball. What does it mean to have that kind of versatility as a player?
Yeah, David Tejas, well, first off, he's a great person, man. Great kid on and off the field, 3.5 student. He's been a starting center fielder since his freshman year. He could do everything for us in football. He's a punt returner, kick returner. Put him in the slot, running back, anything. It's a kid that always wants the ball in his hands.
For someone who hasn't seen a Franklin Panther football game, offensively, what do you look like? What's your style?
Offensively, we're going back to what we used to do, is just throw the ball. We have a great quarterback, Mario Bobadilla. He's a senior. We got a couple of good receivers, Memo, Guillermo Cordova, Leo Santiago, and our running back, Martin Hurtado, has been stepping it up big time for us. But we're going to run spread. We're probably going to throw the ball 30, 40 times a game.
Yeah, because I remember the old days when you were an all-city quarterback at Franklin, and you guys were playing Fremont and Dorsey in Division I, and those were fun times. Coach Gomez was around. Yeah. What do you remember about those days, besides trying to run for your life occasionally?
Yeah. It was tough, man. It was tough. When we got to those playoffs, it was Division I. We got Dorsey, Fremont, like you said, some good athletes. And the thing is that we had depth. We had the numbers and stuff like that. With the decline of the new charter schools, so we lost a lot of enrollment to the kids and everything. But the depth, that was fun to play against those top D1 schools.
I know it's a long way down the road and you still have the entire Northern League to play in, but currently you're ranked number 2 in Division III. RESEDA's ranked number 1. Your thoughts about being that highly ranked in your division?
Well, our goal for every week is to go 1-0. All we could do is take care of business every week, and we kind of don't really look at the numbers. I know we could take care of that later on, but right now, let's go one game at a time. Sotomayor we got next week, and we got a couple 4 tough games coming up at the end of the stretch.
You really think that the Sotomayor game is going to be a tough game for you?
And we respect every opponent. And they put our pads on, we put our pads on, so we'll take a game at a game.
It's like playing North Hollywood, Randy. It's a sure win.
Hey, the Huskies are better than the Parrots of college.
Okay.
You got a question for the coach?
No, Randy, you keep going. We're doing a good job.
No, he's a good guy. Well, Narciso, congratulations on really putting together a terrific football program here in 3 years. I know that when you first got here the year before wasn't very good. You turned it around quickly, and you've had success, and congratulations.
Thank you, and thank you for coming out to the Franklin campus and doing this for us.
Hey, thanks. They were about ready to feed us. They gave us drinks. Everything was great here. We're going to come back and meet that quarterback, Mario Bobadilla, and that fine all-around guy, running back, receiver, safety, those good students, Dave Tejas, Mario Bobadilla. That's next on SoCal Prep Report.
Exploring LA County's trails is now a click away. A mobile-friendly trail locator lets you discover all our county's scenic hikes. It features an interactive map that takes you inside the trail. From the elevation to the temperature, what you need to know is at your fingertips. Wondering if your dog, horse, or bike is welcome? It has that too. So discover some of LA's best-kept secrets and happy trails to you.
Back at Franklin High School, Randy Rosenwald, Eric Sotheimer with Mario Bobadilla, the quarterback of Franklin's Panthers offensive football team, and David Tejas, number 2 over there. He plays everywhere, both on offense and defense. I'll start with Mario. You know, we were just talking before we came on. You grew to 5'11", 5'11 and a half in the 10th grade, and no more growth spurts. You really want to get taller, don't you?
Yeah, I feel like it's going to help me a lot because it's going to allow me to be able to see the field better, and it's also just feel like it's going to help me in both football as well and basketball as well.
Do you think you're going to grow? Have you been told that there could be another spurt?
No, they haven't told me that, but I'm just hoping for it. And if anything, if worse comes to worse, I'm fine like this.
Well, Danny, you're 5'9". It doesn't matter because you're faster than everybody on the field. But explain what your key for success is, because you never come off the field.
You know, my key to success is to look for the holes, use my speed to my advantage. And, you know, I just want to get downfield and try and beat everybody out to score a touchdown for my team.
Right. And Mario, what does it mean to have a player with his versatility? I assume that you can look for him at any time.
It's great. It's a big weapon out there, being able to count on him when he's downfield, whether he's making a short pass, a short run. He's able to. His skill level it's really advanced, and I'm happy to have someone like him on the field with me.
And Danny, you're not just a football player. You've been starting on the baseball team since your freshman year. All city. You got to play at Dodger Stadium last year in the city final, Division II. What was it like to finally get that opportunity to play Eagle Rock?
You know, it was a special feeling because the year before that, we made it to the semifinals, and then to make it to the finals my junior year. It was a special feeling, you know, playing on Dodger Stadium. A lot of people can't say, oh, when I was younger, I played on Dodger Stadium. So it was overall a special feeling. Even though we didn't come out with the victory, this year we're going to work very hard to get back to that stage and hopefully win it off, because we have the same team, basically. So we have a really good chance to going all the way again.
Right, and you're going to try to steal like 100 bases?
Yeah, that's the goal, more than I did last year.
Okay.
You know, Mario, I look at your stats, and you've thrown for already 1,200 yards in 5 games, 56% accuracy. But what I like is 13 touchdown passes, only 2 interceptions. How valuable and how important is it for you to protect the football?
Very valuable, because when our offense has the ball, our offense is able to move the ball, they're able to score. But when we're struggling, that's when it kind of gets a little difficult. So when we don't have the ball as much, it kind of throws us off, and it's just having the ball. It helps us a lot.
What excites you most about the future of this year? I know you're 5-0, but you got the Northern League, there's the playoffs, there's the potential of going to the Coliseum in Division III. What are you looking forward to the most in the second half of the year?
I'm just looking forward to coming out victorious in a lot of our games, most of our games. Our league's coming up. There's a very, very tough opponents, and in playoffs, we're hoping to go far. We have the potential to be able to go far in playoffs, and I'm hoping that if everything comes together, I feel like we'll be able to play at the Coliseum.
David, I know you've had great success here. I've heard people say you're the best athlete on this campus in 25 years. When you hear things like that, what goes through your mind when you hear, you know, the kind of accolades that people pour out for you?
You know, it's a special feeling because there's been many athletes before me coming to the school, and I've heard their names on campus, and very big things about them. And for me to be one of those names on this campus is very, how would I say it? It's very grateful to me.
Humbling.
Humbling, yeah. It's very special, in other words.
Well, you both are fine representatives of this campus in Franklin High School, both Mario Bobadilla and David Tejas. Congratulations on being great student athletes and terrific representation of your schools.
Thank you.
All right, when we come back, we're going to hear from the flamboyant one, Mr. Rich Estrella, and the Southern Section Report. That's next on SoCal Prep Report.
What's happening in LA? I'm Arian Alexander. Whatever you like to do in LA, whether it's go to festivals, do arts and crafts, or just eat, we have something for you. The Aquarium of the Pacific will celebrate its 12th annual Southeast Asia Day. The festival's program will highlight the beauty and diversity of the cultures of Cambodia, Thailand, Vietnam, Myanmar, Laos, and Indonesia. Guests will enjoy live performances, including music, dance, and cultural craft demonstrations. Ethnic dishes will be available for purchase, and children will have the opportunity to partake in arts and crafts. For info, go to aquariumofpacific.org. Join us this Saturday for the 8th annual Taste of Italy, featuring authentic Italian food and wine to benefit the historic Italian-American Museum of Los Angeles in downtown. Taste of Italy showcases over 40 of the region's best restaurants, Italian and California Italian wineries, as well as live entertainment, chef demos, and celebrity guests. Participants will include Valentino, Drago Centro, and Il Forneo. Enjoy performances by LA Opera and dance to the sounds of DJ Low. For tickets, go to italianhall.org. Be a part of the Big Draw LA and make your mark in the park. This free public drawing celebration brings together families, seniors, and art lovers to participate in collaborative drawing activities of every level. Grand Park will be transformed into a giant experimental drawing studio with activities that explore traditional and alternative mark making. Experiment with colored tape to create giant geometric patterns, create and share comics, masks, and banners. For details, go to grandparkla.org. Summer might be coming to a close, but never fear. Living in LA, we have amazing events and festivals all year round. See you next week. I'm Arian Alexander for What's Happening in LA.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Southern Section edition of the SoCal Prep Report. I'm Rich Estrella, and today we are coming to you from Bellflower High School here in the southeast area of Los Angeles County, and I'm joined today by the head coach at Bellflower, Mike Fitch. Now, those of you that don't know Mike Fitch is one of the best high school football coaches in the Southern Section. He's one of the few guys that have taken 2 different teams to CIF championship games. He's been in, like 5 finals. He won a lot of championships at Mayfair. Mike, first of all, welcome back to the coaching fraternity, and what's it like coming to a rival school in your old league to coach?
I know I got a target on my back. They all want to drill you, but that comes with the game. I think what's more fun than that is building bridges with these kids and getting them ready to also beat some of the rivals, and one of them being down the street where I was at. So
now, when you retire, I'm pretty sure you put everything to bed, like a lot of people do. They're done coaching. I'm not keeping up with stats. I'm not keeping up with players. But, man, you come right back into the fire. How much changed in that year or two that you were away?
In some ways, it was tough because I missed it.
Right.
I missed the game. I wanted to be a part of it. And I had known after that year, I'm coming back somewhere. Pop Warner, middle school football, anywhere I could get on, I got to get back in the game. I missed it that much. And I talked to my wife, and I told her, man, I got to get back. It's just driving me nuts. So I interviewed, got the job here, and here we go.
Now, I noticed a lot of your coaching staff from the Mayfair days are all over the place now. Everybody seems to be doing well. And that's a tribute to you, Mike. You really are a good coach. And, again, that's shown in your record and your ability to get kids to be champions.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that were on my staff, and they're coaching all over the place, and I'm proud of them. From Woody to Daryl to Pete to all the guys, even Bruce Ian up in Oregon. A lot of those guys.
Is that where Bruce is now? The brethren guy.
He was up at Oregon, and it's just fun. All the time you put in on the weekends, breaking down film and yelling and hollering at one another and disagreeing and offense going to war with defense. It all just comes down to a part of the game, but you miss those guys.
Yeah, you do. The camaraderie, man, it never goes away. Let's talk about your team this year. I know you guys are in transition, and I know in your first year a lot of things changed. But matter of fact, let's talk to your quarterback who we brought in here. This is Morel Jasper. And Morel, I understand you are a pretty good athlete here at Bellflower High School.
Yes.
Your coach speaks highly of you. Now, how many positions you play?
I play quarterback, running back, wide receiver, strong safety, free safety, corner, linebacker.
They plug you in, man, where need be, huh?
Yeah.
That is great, man. Versatile athletes, that's what the colleges look for. What other sports do you play other than football?
I play basketball and I run track.
There you go. That's the first thing college coaches ask on the recruiting trail. What other sports do you play? You're well-rounded. That's great, man. Tell us about your team, who you want to give a shout-out to. You want to talk about your line a little bit? That's what I would do if I was a quarterback.
Man, I like to give a shout-out to all my linemen, man. Thank you for protecting me this year. I'd like to give a shout out to all my receivers. Thanks for catching the ball, being great. I'd like to give a shout out just to the whole team. Thanks for being great this year, guys.
Yeah, it's got to be tough, though, when you're in a transition with new coaching staff and all that. You got to learn new plays, new ways to do things. What's been the biggest challenge for you so far this year?
The biggest challenge is pretty much keeping myself under composure, not going too fast, because sometimes when I'm out there in the field, it's just I try to move too fast, end up messing up.
Well, you're thinking probably a lot quicker than the other guys on the field because you have to. You're the quarterback. You have to know where everybody is.
Yeah.
And you have to pay attention and know where the defense is, the signals. You know when you get up to the line what you're looking at. You know what's being set up for you. So it's got to be, that's got to be tough as well. So this week, you got a game against Glenn. How do you feel about your chances?
I feel like we're pretty good. We've been practicing very well this week. We've been watching film. Pretty much everything is set in stone right now.
I think you're all ready to go?
Yeah.
All right. Let's bring your coach back in here. Stay with us, though. So, Mike, tell us about Jasper here, man. He seems a pretty humble dude. He's not going to tell us anything about him. Not talking about himself here.
He is one of the toughest kids I've ever had play football for me.
And that says a lot. You've had a lot of great ones.
He could play at any school. In high school ball, he could play anywhere and he could play any position. He's a great athlete. He's a great competitor. He's tough as nails. I wish you could see some of our meetings, like when we're on a drive, and I just look at him and say, "Can you get the first down?" He'll say, "I'll get the first down, coach." And I've had some good ones through the years that have been on the all-CIF teams, that have scholarshiped. He is right there as a competitor. He's a lot like American Pharoah, just a horse that does not like to lose. He is a fierce competitor. He's got a fire in him and a great desire to win. And if they had an American Pharoah too that would go undefeated and take the Triple Crown, it would be him.
Well, that's what you need in a leader. You need somebody who's got fire, but can also do all the things he can do. Play many positions, makes him valuable down the road, especially to recruiters, college recruiters. So, that's some high praise from a guy who's been around and has coached champions. Trust me. A lot of 605 games too, Coach. You've got to coach a lot of the cream of the crop around here during the years.
Yeah, and that's why I can say that, because
yes,
he really is. He's a diamond in the rough, and he is just such a fierce competitor. Sometimes I want to check his pulse and just say, slow down, slow down.
Well, but see, he knows that about himself. He mentioned that here in the interview, that he knows he's got to slow it down a bit, let the other guys catch up.
But he's got a great motor, and he never tires. I just worry because sometimes he'll turn around and instead of getting out of bounds, he'll run somebody over. I think one time I've seen him do a slide after we got the first down, because that's just him. And it's like, man, come on.
Well, he had a linebacker the size of Willie McGinnis coming after him. I'd slide out of bounds too, man.
He wouldn't. So I just know, I keep saying, come on, man, get out of bounds, get out of bounds. But he's not afraid to just dip and run somebody over.
Good, man. Well, listen, Merrill, we hope nothing but good things for you this season, and we'll be looking to talk to you later in the year. Hopefully some recruiters are coming. I know you got Cal Poly looking at you and a few others. Give it time, though, man. Season's only half over. Take your time making those decisions.
Thank you.
All right. Good luck to you this week as well.
Thank you.
Coach, thank you as always.
Thank you, Rich.
All right.
This is fun. Thank you.
All right. Right now we're going to take a look at some of the scores from last week, and then we're going to take a look at our top 10, and we're going to preview this upcoming week. Remember, league starts this week for everybody. So every game counts, and everybody's interested. So let's take a look.
Taking a look at the top 10 this week, Corona Centennial remains number 1. They defeated Liberty of Henderson, Nevada, 49-32. They have a bye week this week. Corona continuing with that tough schedule, taking on top contenders out of state. Number 2, St. John Bosco, a 55-16 winner over Stockton St. Mary's. They will open Trinity League play this week against Servite at Cerritos College. In the number 3 position, it was Mater Dei blanking Edison. Surprisingly, they will open their Trinity League contest against Rancho Santa Margarita at Eddy Westfield. J. Sarah retains the 4th position. They won this week 45-35 over a competitive Los Alamitos team. J. Sarah will open up against Orange Lutheran at Orange Coast College. Number 5 is Calabasas, a 42-7 winner over El Camino Real of Woodland Hills. They will take on Valencia Ventura in a non-league contest. Number 6, Rancho Cucamonga. They remain unbeaten, 17-14 over Citrus Hill last week. They will face a tough Upland team. In the number 7 position, City Section Hawkins. Now, they didn't play this week, but they're going to face Locke in the season opener. We'll see what happens, man. Hawkins, a very good story this year. We'll see how far they go. In the 8th position is another City Section member, Narbonne. 37-0 over Paramount. They will take on Los Angeles High School at Narbonne this week. Mission Viejo takes the 9th spot, 49-12 winner over Redondo. They will take on El Toro at El Toro. In the number 10 spot, it's Rancho Santa Margarita, a 44-14 win over King of Riverside. They open up against Modern Day at Eddie Westfield. We'll see how that goes. The best game of the week this week that are not in the top 10 is Buena Park 4-0 versus St. Francis 4-0. Now, the obvious, they're both undefeated, but they both have high-power offenses and staunch defenses. So these guys are like mirror images. It's going to be a great contest. Buena Park at St. Francis. One of the leagues that really, to me, had a disappointing preseason was the Mission League. I mean, they have tons of traditionally great football teams in the Mission League, but they had a very mediocre preseason. I'll give you an example. Sarah and Loyola both were 1-3 in the preseason. I cannot remember the last time that happened. And, of course, Almania, another story program, 0-4 in the preseason. Now they get to beat up on each other. Hopefully some of these schools will get it together in time for the playoffs. In the national rankings, teams of note in Southern California, it's loaded with SoCal teams this year. Modern Day, ranked number 3, followed by Bosco at number 4, and number 7 is Corona Centennial. I mean, that's as good as it gets here. You got some great football here in Southern California. Of course, in the number 1 position, Bishop Gorman. That's the team that beat St. John Bosco this year. And the IMG Academy, who had to score a touchdown in the last few seconds to defeat a Corona Centennial team by 1 point. So this is a great top 7 right here, looking at the national rankings. All right, until next week, this is Rich Estrella saying so long.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
It's the game of the year in the city. Is it the game of the century in the city section? Narbonne undefeated 5-0, and they're playing LA High School 4-0.
It will be closer, I think, than people think, because I think LA's defensive line is very effective with Chris Green and Martin and Andrus, and I think Narbonne must play well. They have to avoid the penalties that they sometimes seem to get, but I think they will. Coach Douglas knows and respects LA because they agreed to play them. This is the first city section non-league opponent they're playing since 2010. They needed to get a team. Nobody really wanted to volunteer, but LA did. Eric Scott has done a great job moving up this program. Can you imagine a couple years ago they were Division III, and now they're playing the best of the best. So,
and when they were Division III, they won the city championship against Monroe. So they've come quickly, and they've done it very successfully.
Thankfully, some transfers. You know what, my pet peeve? But they've gotten transfers like everybody else seems to get these days.
I know this is a game you're keeping your eye on. It's in the San Fernando Valley. It's RESEDA High School, one of those 8 teams that's undefeated, going to play a good Canoga Park team.
Really, this is an important game for RESEDA. I think Canoga Park's a quality team, and if RESEDA is able to get past them, then they definitely probably should be the Division III favorites. But I give a little bit of an edge to the Hunters. They've had a tougher schedule.
So you think if they win this game, you would favor RESEDA even over Franklin, where we are today?
Yes, if they can beat Canoga.
Okay. Crenshaw has to bounce back. They were hammered on the road at Vista Murrieta last week, and they're back on the road. They go to Ventura County, play the Oxnard Yellow Jackets with a lot of talent. The Yellow Jackets are decent this year.
No, I think Crenshaw will win. Again, I think it's important that they're playing these tough opponents to get ready for the rest of the Coliseum League.
I agree with you. I do think Crenshaw will bounce back. I was kind of disappointed how they were blown out last week. The next game I want to talk about is Lincoln at Eagle Rock in the Northern League. It's the Northern League opener. Should be a pretty good game.
I like Eagle Rock. They're playing Division I this year, and I think they will win that game.
Sotomayor hosting Franklin. We're here. We might as well make a pick on that game.
Really?
No.
First of all, I want to say that I apologize for mentioning Tejas as Danny, and I want to explain it.
It's David.
I know, it's David, but remember there used to be a really good baseball player at Silmar named Danny Tejas, and so I'm getting a little old. I'm not as old as you, but I apologize for
Tejas.
that.
That's what we
yeah,
want you
I
to
know.
do.
So I apologize for keep calling him Danny. It's in my mind.
It's David Tejas.
That's what happens
And
when
you
you
should
cover
know
the
that
same people
and
all the time.
He's a baseball player, for
I know.
goodness
that's what doubled.
Last game, real quickly, Grant at Verdugo Hills. Grant, the Lancers, undefeated in the East Valley League.
Yeah, Cameron Perry's been having a great season at quarterback. I think they will win Grand, and I think they will win the East Valley League.
That's it from Franklin High School. We had a good time. Hope you did as well. For Eric Sonheimer, I'm Randy Rosenblum. We'll see you next time right here on SoCal Prep Report.